talking about UML is one thing. Drawing them can be something entirely different. So let's take a moment, non sequitur, to talk about how you can accomplish getting your UML drawn inside the application. So one thing that's important to note is UML has variable levels of rigor that's required. Not every UML diagram needs to be the same. Some UML diagrams require very perfect syntax because some of the tools will allow you to generate code from your UML. And if your UML syntax isn't perfect, your code can't be generated well from that. While in other cases, there's a lot of flexibility in how I can convey these ideas to the system and how I can get this stuff working forward. So in our class, we want accurate UML syntax, but not perfect UML on its how it's used. So let's talk about what I think is important for your UML here. The concepts are important. We want the classes that you're going to generate to make sense if you're going to be building class diagrams. You want the names to be properly attributed. We want the attributes to be as accurate as possible, and then plausible methods. They don't have to be perfect, but whatever you come up with. More importantly, use cases should describe the business you're putting forward well. I don't want to see flows. I don't want to see sitemaps. I don't want to see any of the things to be out there. Again, remember, use case is a menu of the services that are available to the system. It tells us what actors are out there and what the system does for those actors. Not how, just what. On all of these, though, we want to have proper capitalizations. Class names are capitalized. Attributes, methods are all lowercase. They all use what's called camel case. Camel case is the first letter is uppercase, lowercase, based off of the top, and then every additional letter of the word. So if I say the last man standing, the letter M in man and the letter S in standing would be capitalized, and all would be crunched together with no spaces. We'll see that as we go. We do some demo here in just a second. And then, so the pictures should be drawn accurately. If you have boxes, they should be boxes. If they have lines, they should be the right kind of lines, the right type of arrows or no arrows, most appropriately. Again, how do you do all that? That's all fine and good. That all sounds fine and good. But how do you get to the point of doing that? Well, that's where tool support comes in. There's a lot of UML tools that are out there that you can use. There's free available online. I don't ask that you go learn those tools for this class. That's not the focus of what we have going on here. What I'm going to show you is using PowerPoint or Word or Office tools of your choice to do the drawing outside there. And I'm actually okay if you just hand draw it. If you are okay with a pen and pencil, draw it, scan it in, take a picture with your smartphone. Very rarely does the student take me up on that, but I really normally enjoy the results when they do. I'm not worried about how you convey your UML to me, as long as that you take it, you put it in a Word doc when it's all said and done, send it over to me. So the way I'm going to help you with this is I'm going to give you this template. This template has a use case resource for you, and it has a class diagram resource for you. It's going to look exactly like this. This is the demo, sort of what we saw. So in here, I can take this stick figure, and actually, let me just group this back together because I ungrouped it there. So I'd have the stick figure here, and I can move, oops, nope, not like that. I can move the stick figure around however I need it to be, and then I can attach these or move these around however they need to be. And then I can rename it however I want to, chef there. So perhaps you have two of these that come along, so I can copy and paste. Throw a second one out there, like that. Okay, so then we have our other one here. And then the first roll can do that, the second roll can do that. And again, I can change the names of these however I want to, but there's the pieces right there. You just copy and paste them. I want 3 use cases instead of 2. Well, I bring it down here. I bring another one here. I want multiple context. Well, here is the web application. I also want a mobile application that does some different things or maybe some same things. Well, maybe this happens over here, and I can show lines as appropriate there as well. This is the type of stuff that you're going to be able to do starting with this basic diagram right here that you start with. So you'll see the diagram like this, and then you'll be able to work it from there. Same thing with the class diagram. These pieces, again, can be moved around individually. The connections are outside of there. You can actually edit these in place. It will do some expansion as long as you make them bigger. You have to sometimes play with it a little bit. If you need to, you can make these boxes change size internally, but you might have to ungroup it first. So let me show you that. You just group, ungroup, and then you can change the size of these internally. Oops. Change this one, make it smaller. Nope, it doesn't want to do it. Let me see. There. No, hey, what? Is it still in grouped? Nope. All right, here. There you go. That's why it's not doing it there. I don't know what's up with that. Sorry. It's actually good that you're seeing this. There you go. That's what I need to do. I just need to change the order of some of these things. So you can make the pieces bigger again, and then you can just say group, regroup, like that. There you go. Then you have more space inside there if that's what you need to do. And it works for any of these boxes there. And again, if you just draw it using boxes and stuff like that. The important thing is getting these concepts right. You notice the names of things that are capital letters on the class names, capital letters on the class names, lowercase letters on the attributes. The minus here, not super important. It just means private in that. But anyway, that's the foundation of what you're going to do there. You're going to start with something. I'm doing a lot of Control Z right here, undoing stuff. And then it stopped my undo pattern, forgot about it. But anyway, that's the idea behind this, is you're going to be able to put these pieces together and create your UML. Now, that's the mechanics of make it happen. The choice is, how do you construct what your use cases will be? Well, that's based off of what you want to provide to the users. There's not really a right or wrong answer here. At this point, I just want to see what you're thinking. I might, worst case scenario, have you do some updates to make a few changes to how you do that. But most likely I'll just have it be, hey, here's some feedback and you'll be good to go. Only if you get it like super terribly wrong will you have some updates from there, and most likely it's going to be around the UML side of it. Not the conceptual side, I'll mostly get feedback on. Class diagrams, if you're asked to do class diagrams, again, it's about using the tool appropriately, getting the names appropriately. I mean, if you turn in something that looks like this, I'll be like, hey, that's not a proper class diagram. Make sure there. Now, if you turned in this like this and it was a little bit off, that'd be fine. I mean, again, if this was like that, it'd be like, yeah, that's not quite right, but I see what you're doing right there. So just try and make it, so it looks, pretty much along the lines of being properly constructed right there. What I don't want to see is just individual boxes. That I certainly don't want to see circles or a flow chart or something like that. Remember what these are for and conceptually apply them as appropriate. So content-wise, by the way, how would you build the classes? What classes do you see? Well, what do you see in the real world? If you're talking about a pizza shop, I have a cash register. I have a different pizza you can order. I get different toppings you can choose from. Whatever seems appropriate to add to your context. At this juncture, it might not even be things you're going to use in your application. That's okay. It's about modeling out what you're seeing in the environment, and then from there, figuring out what's useful. You're not going to be a perfect designer yet. You don't know how code is constructed entirely yet. Some of you might. But the idea is to start playing with these notions, particularly in this case, playing with UML and the diagrams and seeing what shows up. So put your best effort out there, get feedback, learn from that, and move forward in your education as well as the class.